With the possibility of President Trump's re-election growing more and more, in South Korea, there is of course a lot of interest in Project 2025. How accurate do you think these vast plans reflect President Trump's actual thoughts or plans?
Well, I think you're right to say that President Trump's election looks very likely. I think he's going to win, and I think that as a result of the lessons learned in his first term, he understands he's got to go in with a plan. And so Project 2025, which of course would have been offered to any aspirant, for that matter, President Biden, if you were courteous enough to call us, is going to be at President Trump's disposal. And I can tell you from private conversations I've had with him about it, as well as ongoing conversations between the leaders of that project and President Trump's policy team, that I think the project reflects almost in its totality what President Trump's policy inclinations are. But let me be really clear, just so that you know that there's no institutional hubris on our part.
Sure.
President Trump is going to make those decisions. We are not. And so the whole genesis of Project 2025, the whole purpose is to offer really substantive policy solutions.
What is the biggest outer threat to the US then? If it's China, what do you expect from ROK, one of the closest allies of the United States?
The tremendous understanding at Heritage that we have that the Chinese Communist Party is the greatest adversary the United States has ever faced. And I'm happy to report, as you no doubt know, that there is an emerging, strong, bipartisan majority in our Congress that recognizes that, and Heritage has played a lead there. The point about mentioning my trip to your region is that it helped me to understand, looking at some of the defense capabilities and needs of Taiwan, looking at the defense posture of Japan, that this is it's an economic need for the of Korea to play a major role. We also applaud routinely your country's heroic work on increasing defense spending. And so I would say the following very directly. Continue to increase your defense spending. The United States is going to already, and President Trump, I can say too, values immensely our alliance, not just friendship, our alliance with South Korea. But continue increasing your defense spending because the United States is going to value partners who put money where their mouth is.
President Trump said many times that the US-ROK economic relationship is somewhat unfair, and he wanted to slap steep duties on nearly all US imports of cars and car parts, etc., coming from South Korea, and try to amend the FTA provisions, etc. Do you think that Mr. Trump want to increase more tariff on South Korean products in the second term?
Yeah, it is a tricky question, but I'll be candid with you, make two or three points.
Thank you. Yeah.
You have to understand that he's a great negotiator. And so it's important, especially as it relates to his comments on trade, that he might be adopting a negotiating position, just as your government and your great entrepreneurs, some of whom I know well, do. Heritage, of course, is a huge believer in free trade. Where President Trump is right is that what often is billed as free trade from the standpoint of the everyday American actually is neither free nor fair. And so is to step inside the mind of an average American and what we call our Rust Belt and try to understand how there can be an economic alliance that benefits both of our countries. At Heritage, we are huge proponents, publicly in private conversations with President Trump and his team, on bilateral trade agreements between the United States and individual countries. We believe that actually is the path forward that benefits both everyday South Koreans and everyday Americans.